In this video, we'll discuss the Scikit-Learn functions using UnifyML SQL. Scikit-Learn function. AdaBoost algorithm using UnifyML SQL. Now let's see this simple Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression. Here we run our Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression using a UnifyML query. This is our Scikit-Learn AdaBoost UnifyML query. Mention your required input table name. Mention your required input column names. Mention your target column to be predicted and the training sample size. Splitting data into training and test data, mention your training data value here, and the remaining will be your test data. Save the model for further prediction using Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression on this data. There are a few more parameters for the Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression. You can go through our UnifyML documentation. Input data types. If you want to change the column data types, you can use this input data types parameter. Parallelism. Evaluating the setting in parallel. Training sample size. Number partitions. Number of partitions to do. On which column the partition should be done. Save model, output model. Data cleaning. Cleaning of data. There are 4 methods to clean the data. Remove row, remove duplicates, remove outliers, and fill. For fill with values, if you want to fill any null values or if you want to change any data value in the dataset, you can use this fill with values option. Data scaling. Scaling of data. There are 4 methods of scaling data: min-max scaler, standard scaler, normalizer, and binarizer. For min-max scaler, you have to mention the minimum and maximum scaler value. Input cache ID. If your data is previously saved in the cache, no need to mention the input table. In place of the input table, mention the input cache ID. Bytes per chunk. These are all the input arguments of this Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression. Mention your input arguments based on your requirement of the function. Run this query. This query will execute in the backend of our UnifyML server. This is the output of the Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression: MSE value, MAE value, RMSE value, R2 value, accuracy of the data, and the output model name is saved. Now let's see the Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression predict using UnifyML query. Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression predict. Mention your input table as the table you want to predict. Input model name is saved by the above. There are a few more parameters for the Scikit-Learn regression predict. You can go through our UnifyML documentation. Partition column. Mention the partition column you want to partition. Input data types. If you want to change the data types of the column, mention this input data types parameter. Data cleaning. Cleaning of data. There are 4 methods to clean the data. Remove row, remove duplicates, remove outliers, and fill. For fill with values, if you want to fill any null value, or if you want to replace any data value, you can use the fill with value argument. Data scaling. Scaling of data. There are 4 methods of scaling data: min-max scaler, standard scaler, normalizer, and binarizer. For min-max scaler, you have to mention the minimum and maximum scaler value. Input cache ID. If your predicted input data is previously saved in the cache, no need to mention the input table. In place of the input table, mention the input cache ID. Save to DB. If you want to save the predicted output to the database, mention the Save to DB option and the output table name. Overwrite output table. If your table already exists in the database and you want to overwrite the output, you can use this overwrite output table Boolean value to true. Save to CSV. If you want to save the predicted output to a CSV file, mention the Save to CSV option along with the output CSV name. Bytes per chunk. These are all the input arguments of the AdaBoost regression predict of Scikit-Learn. Mention your input arguments based on your requirement for the predicted data. Run this query. This query will execute in the backend of our UnifyML server. This is the output of the Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression predict. These are all the input columns, and this is the output predict column. Like this, you can run any of your regression datasets using our Scikit-Learn AdaBoost regression based on your requirements. Thank you for watching this video.